Hi, I'm Kat, marketer turned brand storyteller,
And I'm Candice, educator turned entrepreneur.
and you're listening to
Not nice, clever.
We're two introverts who speak on stages around the country and work with top personal brands who also unapologetically require 24 to 48 hours of recovery time on the couch in our favorite sweats, all Netflix and no chill.
And to be clear, we're not quiet or nice. Together, we're redefining what it means to be an introvert who means business. It's time to show up and show off. Are you in? In today's episode of Not Nice Clever, we are giving you a much needed Instagram update. We have been on Instagram hearing a bunch about updates, and we figured we might as well gather all of that information that has been buzzing around and just clear the air with some of the updates that feel most pertinent to you. So you're welcome. Here we go.
And you guys know we're going to do this clever girl style, clever crew style, as it were. So, update number one that we're going to talk about. This has been a hot one because you know how much Candice and I love email. However, leveraging Instagram to grow your email, the game has changed, to put it lightly. So, you know, in the past, if you listen to past episodes or you've talked to Candice and I, we always touted the link in bio as a way to grow your newsletter subscriber list. But now Instagram has instituted a sort of security warning for when users click on your link in bio, a warning page comes up and says, just to let you know, Instagram doesn't abide by this link. If you click it at your own risk, right? It's kind of when you get that like forbidden proceed at your own risk type of things on websites. Not a good feeling.
It just makes it scary for your audience and they
Right?
might not want to proceed. And that is not good for business. We don't want to put any barriers in the line of communication between your audience and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, although we used to say, refer to link in bio, that
Mm-hmm.
is not something that we recommend anymore because of the new feature.
It is not.
So, what do we do instead?
So you can leverage services like LinkedIn or ManyChat. And basically, what you can do is have your call to action be in the captions of your posts or in your Instagram stories, or even in the precious real estate of your bio itself. And you'll tell people, DM me the word pod for the link to, subscribe to my podcast. DM me the word VIP to get on my email list.
Yes.
And then that way, those services like LinkedIn or ManyChat will automatically DM that user whatever link you have set up in the back end of that service. And it serves two purposes. One, it's a super immediate automated experience, very curated, very personalized. And it also, in Instagram's eyes, keeps the user on the platform for longer than if you had just sent them a link and then they popped out of the platform. So game has changed there. Use and look into services like LinkedIn and ManyChat. I think I'm actually going to be starting to use ManyChat soon, so maybe we'll do a future episode on that.
We'll do an update on that. Yeah. I just made an account there as well, and we'll drop those links in the show notes so you can check them out and choose one that is best for you. But we definitely recommend using Instagram as a way to continue to grow your email list. So I don't want you to stop doing that because link in bio is no longer a thing, and be creative, find a workaround. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. Things are constantly changing, and that's just part of it. So we will use the new features to still connect with our audience.
Absolutely. Okay, next tip. And this is an update on the ever present question of Candice, Kat, what's the best time to post? So, Candice, what's our 2024 take
Yes.
on this?
So my take is still going to be post the damn content. Like, I really don't give a shit. But I've been watching a lot of content on Instagram that creators have made, and they've said, I talked to Meta this week. Who knows if that's true? But I talked to Meta this week, and here's what Meta said. So, multiple people have said this recently, that you should treat your content as a television show that your audience is coming back to week after week. And so deciding on a time and date, like I'm going to post every Tuesday and Thursday at 9, or picking a time and being consistent, will help Instagram understand that you're a serious content creator and they can count on your content. Because once again, Instagram wants you to make amazing content so that you keep their audience on the app. And so if they know that they can count on you to consistently make content, then they will likely push your content out even more. Now, once again, Instagram, I did not hear this directly from them.
Mhm.
Okay. Meta, I didn't hear this directly from Meta, but I have heard it from a lot of creators on the app, which is different than previous information about this. So take that with a grain of salt. But that's what I've curated for you.
Well, and we still see it prove true to this day. So you guys know the Clever Crew, and if you don't now, you'll find out. Candace and I go live every Friday. That was an intention that we set for ourselves at the beginning of this year, and we typically aim for 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern. Yesterday was a Friday upon recording this, and we happened to go live an hour later. But I actually had somebody DM us and say, "Hey, Kat, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss your live. You said you were going to be going live every Friday at 1." And I'm like, "Oh man, Sean, so sorry. We ended up going later." He's like, "No problem. I'm just so glad that I was able to catch you guys." So consistency in training your audience so that they know what to expect so that they can look forward to it, I think is a great practice and useful anytime.
Yep. And one great thing that we can do that we haven't done, and this is for our clever crew as well, is utilize the timer. So on Thursday before we go live, we can utilize the timer feature inside of Instagram stories and it'll do a
Mm,
countdown.
yep.
So we can say on Thursday, we probably do know what time we're going to be able to go live on Friday. So
Yeah.
then our audience will still see that update and they could actually click on that countdown and be notified for the live. So that's probably a feature that we haven't used that we can implement to just get even more clear with our audience about what time that is.
Love it. Okay. This next update might not have hit everybody yet because Candace and I were comparing notes on our individual Instagram accounts and it was slightly different. But the ever present DMs is now being segmented into different inboxes. So this might look differently if you go into your DMs. But for me, for example, I have one that's primary, right? Where people that I've already had existing conversations going on with. I actually have one from ads because I've collaborated with Sell It Like Sirhan and I have an ad going right now. So if there's any DMs from ads, they'll go there. And then there's general, which the people that I don't maybe have a direct relationship with. And then there's also requests, which is people who I have not yet had a conversation with, but they reach out and DM me. And then I also have channels, which are the broadcast channels on Instagram. And I don't subscribe to a ton of them, but a few. And so we share this to say check all of your DMs, all of those inboxes at once a week, right? I don't think you need to go overkill. Like the
Mhm.
general is probably where you'll spend the most time, but you never want to miss a potential message. And so just make sure you swipe all the way to the right and see all the different inboxes you have and make sure that you're up to date on a regular basis.
Absolutely. The next one is very simple. Something that you can do is when you are posting a static post, so I'm talking about a photo or maybe even a carousel post with multiple photos, you can now add music. And I was just watching a video from Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, who suggested that you do use music on your static posts. So anytime he makes a suggestion, I think that it's something we should try because typically we will get more reach there.
Hmm.
So that's a really simple, just pick a song, pick a vibe, and go with it.
Yep. And our next tip is going to be one that we have been sharing for a bit, but now it's nice to have the backing of Instagram here and Mozeri himself agreeing with us. We love it when very powerful CEOs agree with us. So, this tip is look at and use your video content, see it as a form of documenting the things that you do. If you're a service provider, if you're a real estate agent, a coach, a consultant, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is, film and capture yourself kind of in the wild doing those things, right? Showcasing the work that you do as a form of documenting what you do, how you do it, who you work with, instead of thinking of your content as a performance that you have to put on and you suddenly have to become a completely different person when you hit the record button. That's not going to read as authentic. And I love this because you know me, Candice, I go back and forth on the term content creator. I love content documentation rather than creation. And so take this to heart, find ways to capture those moments and know that that content is the content that your audience wants to see. They want to see you in action. They want to see you walk the walk and not just talk the talk.
They want to know what it would be like to work with you,
Mhm.
and they want it to not be weird for them to slide into your DMs. And the way you make it not weird is you treat them like your friend. You treat them like someone who is opening the line of communication by pulling back the curtain and letting them in.
Mhm. I love it.
The next one is also from Adam's Instagram. He said authenticity over hyper processed or hyper produced content. So I know y'all love your drone footage and these fancy transitions, and you love everything to look perfect. And really, what your audience is looking for typically, this might depend on your brand, but typically, what your audience is looking for is connection to you as a human being and understanding that you're an expert in your area. And so I would not be overwhelmed with the idea that your first video needs to be an award winning cinematic feature. It doesn't.
Mhm.
And as a matter of fact, your audience will likely connect more with you if it feels a little raw.
Yeah. And obviously we're speaking through the lens of personal brands here, right? It can be different for larger corporate brands, but we know our audience. Candace and I, in and of ourselves, are always working to refine and develop our own personal brands. And so authenticity will always win over overproduced 11 out of 10 times.
Yes. And I'm thinking right now about a lot of my clients are luxury real estate agents. And if they're luxury real estate agents, you do want to have a mix of high quality content that demonstrates your team's ability to market a home really well. Like that does matter. But also, people want to know, like, and trust you as a human being. So then you might think about a mix of that type of content if you were a luxury agent, perhaps. So definitely think about your brand, but ultimately, what we know works is real relationships with real human beings.
Okay, next tip is going to be about your Instagram highlights. So, Candace and I have seen the gamut of Instagram highlights. We ourselves have gone through the gamut of Instagram highlights.
I'm like making a little note here to like redo my
Do
highlights
some
this
hygiene.
week.
Yeah, highlight hygiene.
Yeah.
So, with this, we want you to remember that your highlights are basically giving snapshot Cliff Notes versions of what people are going to see if they take the time to scroll through your feed. AKA, your highlights are not about you and what you want to see all the time. With that caveat, and knowing that we work with a lot of personal brands, you can have a highlight that's like, get to know me, right? And show a trip that you
Yes.
took, show that you've got pets, show that you have kids, show that you went to this school and you have this background and this is where you live, right? Have a highlight like that, but base your highlights around the needs of your audience and the goals of your business, right? So if you want to be known as an expert in a certain area, probably have a highlight about that. If you want to be known for helping a specific type of person, probably have a highlight about that. That'd be useful because then when the right person hops on your page, they're like, oh, you're calling me out. I feel totally seen here. And then I'm going to keep scrolling because I know that I'm in the right place. And
Yep.
I don't know, quantify this, Candace. What, 5 highlights total? Like keep less is more, I feel like.
Yeah, 5 to 7 is what I tell my clients. Five to
Yeah.
seven, and that's fine. And think about them as binge worthy pieces of content that doubles down on who you are and who you serve and how you serve them.
Yep. Keep it simple, y'all. Oh, this
Yep.
next tip is big. I think a lot of people are going to like fight us on this, but like Moseri has spoken. This is truth. So buckle up for this one, guys.
Yeah. He says half of what people consume on Instagram is still photos. So I know that we will always tell you that video content works and we're never going to back down from that, but you can still post still photos. And Kat and I have actually seen this in both of our content recently. We've got a lot of engagement, a lot of comments when we're just posting still photos. So we are posting single still photos and we are also posting carousels with still photos.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be working. Adam says it's working. Let's go with it.
Yeah,
Don't overthink it.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, yeah, and honestly, carousels are one of my most saved forms of content. I'm trying to figure out what type of content to experiment with to get more saves on my educational reels. But right now, my educational carousels, the most saves far and away, which we know is very much prioritized by showing Instagram that the stuff that you're putting out there, if it's being saved by other people for future reference, more reach, more value, more of everything. So,
Yep. You're out there building your personal brand and you also have a team relying on you. But if your people don't know how to fish for themselves, the burden of new business always falls on you. Ouch, no thanks.
the opportunity we see, teach your team how to generate their own business.
The result, more time and energy back in your day so you can scale sans burnout.
Amplify by Not Nice Clever is the ace up your sleeve, a hands-on workshop full of replicable frameworks and actionable strategies that your team can put in place right away.
Your job? Sit back and let us work our magic.
Even CEOs need help sometimes. We've got you. Head to our show notes to get the deets. #outsourced.
One thing I think that holds people back when it comes to carousel posts is that they think they have to go in Canva and like curate 10 perfect slides. And sometimes a carousel post can simply be a few photos and maybe some videos that you post for an event recap.
Yes.
And I have an example on my feed if you want to check it out. There's me in front of the Inman screen, and you'll see like 5 to 7 photos of my trip to New York. And it's just really swipeable, and you can kind of get what I do and who I do it with and just the general vibe of my trip.
Mhm.
And I think that helps people to know me on a deeper level. And it's so simple because I wasn't thinking about making a carousel that whole few days I was in New
Mhm.
York, but when I was on the plane, I was like, "Oh, I can gather all of these photos together and really tell a story," which is so important about what just happened.
Very true. And Missouri himself says carousels enrich the experience. I kind of feel like it's like a scrapbook, right? It's like what's next? Like,
Yes.
oh, what was Candace's airport fit? And then, oh, where did she stay? Oh, what'd
Yeah.
she get for breakfast for in a conference? Who did she run into? Who did she see speak? Like,
Maybe it's like a scrapbook slash diary.
yes,
Maybe,
visual diary.
yeah, maybe both of those things are true.
Mhm.
And I feel like that should be a thing. Maybe we run with that.
Yeah, we just call it like, I don't know, entrepreneurial diaries or something like that. I think we can
Something
make it a
like that.
thing. Another new update, and this is for those of you who are new to going live on Instagram, right? Candace and I have lots of practice, but still lots to learn always about going live. And actually, one person that I think is a great demonstration of this tip on what to do in Instagram in 2024 is Chris Doe, who we did have on the podcast. If you guys don't know him, what are you even doing with your lives? He's at
We'll
the Chris
drop the
Doe.
link to
We will.
his episode in the show notes as well because
Yes.
it's amazing.
It is. And the reason I call him out specifically is because he consistently goes live for over an hour every single time. Like my hat's off to him
I don't know
because
how he does it, like 2 hours sometimes,
right,
like
like
crazy
hour
long.
and a half is
Yeah.
probably the average, right? And
Mhm.
he'll bring up an expert and it'll be an interactive live where he's asking their opinion, he's doing some role play on the fly, asking questions. Sometimes he even calls up people from his audience so that they can ask questions live of the expert and himself who are on the live together. But the point of this is to demonstrate that long form interactive live content is going to be seen and favored by Instagram. Why? Because it goes back to you're keeping people on the platform. He keeps, I'll hop on those lives and he'll have been going live for an hour. There's still 800 people on that live, which is
Yeah.
wild to me. And so I
Mhm.
don't know, Candace, the longest time we've ever gone live is what, like 30, 40 minutes, you know?
Probably, yeah, I think 40 is definitely the max ever in my lifetime of going live, and I've gone live a lot.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going live more than that, so
Yeah.
that's kudos to him for being able to do that, and I need to listen in on even more of them because there's always so many good gems there, so definitely
There
follow Christo on
is.
Instagram.
The point is you don't have to go live for 90 minutes. You can build up to that if it makes sense for you and your business and your brand. But the point is to make it interactive. So when you're live there, don't just make it about talking at the people and what you're doing or where you are. Shout them out as they join. Ask them questions, share a quick aside. Oh, Pedro just hopped on. Pedro, it was great to see you on office hours a few days ago. He's athlete turned agent. If you ever need anything in North Carolina, say hello, right? Like get them seen.
Yeah, I think that people really see your Instagram as a stage, and if you shout them out on your stage, they're so grateful.
Yeah,
And I think people don't use that enough. Like, use the fact that you can say someone's name and it allow them to connect with someone else and potentially grow a relationship there, have new opportunities, maybe get business. Like, that's really, really helpful. And going live is a great way to be able to make those connections.
truly. All right. Next tip, Candace.
Comments are content. So engage with other people's content. It matters. And Chelsea and Giselle have been saying this for years now
Hmm.
that you can get so much traction and make connections by just authentically and genuinely commenting on someone else's post. Like, I think Giselle just recently made a comment that got hundreds, if not thousands of likes and then interactions from there.
Yeah.
And I think that happened to you recently too, Kat.
It did. Literally, this was a reel that was posted months ago, and I didn't even think twice about leaving the comment. I like was listening to the reel and there was just that mic drop moment and I called it out and I thanked the creator for taking the time to do that and I loved it. And it's still racking up, like it has over 100 likes already. And the same thing
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
when I commented on, this is a separate platform on TikTok, but there was a TikTok that was talking about being a millennial manager. And I was like, I feel so seen. I was like, this is so cool. Hundreds of likes, and
Yeah.
people reaching out to me. And I've
And people will
noticed
click over and they look at your bio and they
exactly.
decide if they want to follow you. Yeah.
It's a form of community building and connection building. And it's easy, it's free. And also, it just is a way I think of spreading the love because Candace and I both invest. Creators like Giselle, creators like Chelsea, everyone out there, we invest so much heart and time and money and energy into building our platform to help more people that it's nobody is ever too famous or whatever to like appreciate a comment. So take the time to leave the damn comment. We would love that so much.
Leave the comment, share the love. Yes, every person wants to feel seen, heard, and valued. So if you
Mhm.
can do that, it go a long way.
All right.
This one is actually so funny because it's one of my favorite things to be included on someone's close friends list,
Right?
but I don't have a close friends list.
Well, I better be on it if and when you actually do make one.
Yeah, I just had to caveat the only reason you haven't seen any close friends content is because a close friends list does not exist.
I will accept that explanation.
But you can actually create a close friends list for sharing content that maybe isn't for your entire audience, but it's for your close friends.
Yeah.
So, for example, I know a couple parents who use the close friends list when they want to share their kids there, but they don't want to share their kids publicly on Instagram. Which so I think it's great because I get to see a bunch of fun, cute kid content when I'm on those lists.
Yeah.
But that person, that creator, still feels like they have some privacy because they're curating who they're showing that content to.
Mhm. I'm a huge fan of boundary setting like this. And I think this is fantastic because it allows you to still have one platform, one place for people to get to know you, hang out with you, grow with you on a particular platform, Instagram in this case. But it also allows you to put some boundaries in place. But I don't know how you feel, Candice, like as your profile has grown, as my profile has grown over the years, I do value my privacy in different ways now. And
Yeah.
I actually didn't make a close friends list until last year when I was in Japan and I found out
Wait, am I on your close friends
you
list?
are. Are you not
Okay, she
watching my
just
close
doesn't
friends
post to her
stories?
close friends.
Yeah,
I think you're not posting there
once
as much
every
as
like
I.
maybe 3 months. No, I
Yeah.
do need to use it more. That's the caveat. But like what first inspired me to use a close friends list was when I was traveling abroad in Japan and I found out some really like not earth-shattering, but like some really big information about my family, but it's very personal. It's extremely personal. And
Hmm.
it didn't feel right in that moment to share it with the hundreds that
Yeah,
view
you
my
weren't ready
stories,
or
right?
you
I
don't
wasn't
want to.
ready.
It wasn't appropriate. Yeah.
Exactly. But the people who were close with me knew and know how important that trip was for me. And so it felt right to share it with them. So I actually built my close friends
Hmm.
list when I was in Japan. And yes, you are on
There
it,
you go.
Candace. And no, I have not been using it regularly. So this might be my my reminder as well. But if you feel a need to put some boundaries in place for your own personal comfort, your own personal security, we absolutely love and respect that. Use technology to support you in doing that. And
Totally.
again, it goes toward like just I feel like the common theme of all of these tips is that Moseri and the powers that be just want us to like get back to being a community again. Like
Oh,
this
yes.
is this
Say it louder for the people in the
this
back.
is what's coming through for me, you know? Like you
Hmm.
don't need another
Yeah.
hack. You just need to remember to be human again.
Oh, God. It's not about hacks.
No,
It really, truly is not.
it's not. No hacks here. Only heart, only humanity. Okay, do you want to share this last one? Because we're hope maybe we can manifest this feature for you.
One, I just want to tell all our clever crew that I would be honored to be on your close friends list. So
Especially if you
I
have cute
I'm as an introvert.
yes.
As an
Oh,
introvert,
that's
I feel
true.
so good when I'm on
When
a
you're
close friends list
included,
because maybe I can. Yeah, I'm included,
you're
exactly. And like I
included.
don't have to like change my clothes or do my hair or go anywhere, but I'm included. So add me, thank you. And then lastly, this is ironic that I'm sharing this one, Kat, because I don't even have this feature yet. Because as you know, Instagram does roll out features to different accounts at different times.
Mhm.
And so it's really interesting that this feature has been out for many months and I still don't have it. And it's called Share a Note or Notes. And basically, I was watching a video and Adam Asseri described it as it's kind of like your old school AIM status.
Yes.
AIM, sorry. AIM. Yeah. It's like your
No,
old
AIM
school
is fine.
AI. AIM is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Status. And you can like just put something on there that kind of lives at the top of people's DM
Mhm.
screen and people can see things. And go ahead, Kat, because I don't even have it. So you tell them about it.
Well, we're going to manifest this or at least write a letter
I
to
know.
Adam so we can
Please.
change this.
Yeah.
So I love using it a couple different ways. Like Candice said, it lives at the top of your DM boxes. It's not hidden in an inbox. It doesn't get buried by an influx of DMs. So it's very front and center. And the important thing too is that notes are shared with people who follow you back. So people who you follow and you follow back. So there tends to be a stronger relationship correlation there, right? It's not just you following and fangirling over somebody or somebody following you and fangirling over you. There's mutual like respect there. And so I love using it kind of in two ways that I'll share. One is to let people know when I'm traveling or when I'll be at an event. So I did this, Candice, when you and I were at Inman a couple weeks ago. I was like at Inman through Tuesday, like catch me while you can, because I wasn't going to stay the whole week. And I had a lot of people chime in. They're like, oh, I'm just going to miss you, or oh, I'm getting in Thursday, or da da da. And it's great because if you think about it, you have a lot of people who follow you. A fraction of those see your stories, right? So not everybody sees your stories at all times. You have a lot of people that follow you. Not every single person is shown your content in their feed because the feed is based on recommendation, not chronologically anymore. And so the DM note is like right there. If they go into their DMs, they're going to see it from you if they follow you back. And so it's a really powerful way to like, it's totally an AIM status. I love that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I use it is for promotion. So like the last time that I hosted a masterclass, I was telling the note I put in there, I was like, hey, first free masterclass in 18 months. Like, do you want in?
Love it. Yeah.
And I had so many people say like, send me the link, send me the link, send me the link. And I'd also promote it in stories and promoted it in my feed and on my email list. But those notes are powerful. Actually, I have a question for you, Candice.
Yeah.
What was your AIM username?
Okay, I didn't have an AIM.
What?
I don't know. I know. I don't know why.
Candice,
I mean, I think,
were you too
am I
cool?
too old for that? I
No.
don't know. I didn't get like Facebook until like '06 or something.
Okay.
That's crazy. I don't know. I was late.
Yeah, I didn't get it
I didn't do
until
any of
like
that stuff.
'08, which I'm grateful for because most of the emo years were hidden.
But AIM, like, I guess I just didn't use it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I still remember that open like every time you would sign on, it'd be like an open door, and then
The
anytime you'd sign
ping.
off, yeah,
Okay.
it'd be like a closed door, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, who signed off? Or did my crush just sign on? Like, oh my God, we're getting a little off track
That's
here.
crazy.
Share the notes. If you have that feature, use it. I definitely have used that feature more than the close friends feature, for sure.
Yeah, if I was a real estate agent, like, hey, open house, an event you have coming up, share that, a digital download that you have. Like, there's so many cool
Yes.
things. And also, if you want to meet up with people and expand your network from an event, post that you're at the
Yep.
event. There's so many different ways to use it. I'm really jealous that I don't have it now.
Well, you will have it soon enough. And the
Yes,
other
it's
thing
coming.
too
I feel
is
it.
that the other thing is that notes disappear after 24 hours also.
Oh, good to
So
know.
they're similar.
Perfect.
I totally forgot about that. Very similar to stories in that way. So again, ephemeral, time sensitive. So if you have anything that you're doing that's time sensitive for your audience and you want to make sure that they see it, use notes, right?
Boom. Okay. We need to wrap this up because we got
Okay.
places to go and people to see.
We do. Are you saying
So,
we're busy entrepreneurs? Oh my goodness.
yeah, I mean, they need to know.
They do.
So, thank you for joining us today. We hope that this kind of download of updates for Instagram is helpful for you. If you have questions, our DMs are always open. And if you haven't yet left your 5-star review, today's the day.
Today is the day. Thanks, Clever Crew.
Thanks for joining us on Not Nice, Clever.
Remember to follow our podcast wherever you listen to audio.
And if you found today's episode valuable, please share it with your friends.
No gatekeeping here. Remember, we love to see our Clever Crew grow.
Signing off, you're not so nice, but oh so clever besties that mean business.
See you soon.